Welcome to Vermont Sun and Shade. I have been watching the news diligently tonight, waiting to see if there's any updates at all on locating and the return of Nancy Guthrie to their children, Savannah Guthrie of the Today Show, Cameron Guthrie of Vermont, an F-16 former pilot fighter, and they're and Annie Guthrie of Arizona. There have been no official reports. However, Savannah Guthrie did take to media on Instagram, and I don't know if she was on other platforms, but I did see her on Instagram. And basically, she was saying the very exact same thing I said this morning in the video. Please, if you see something, say something. And because it occurred in Arizona doesn't mean that necessarily that is the only place that people, officials are looking. So keep your eyes open, because this is the family now, not just me, but the family now saying, hey, please keep your eyes open if you see something unusual. Now, mind you, Nancy Guthrie is an 84-year-old woman. So her wit and her emotional and mental status, even though she's 84, is going to be way stronger than the perpetrator. It just is, because she has much more wisdom. So you need to think about that. Now, the other thing, and these are just my thoughts, this is just what I'm thinking if this had occurred, let's say, to me. Okay, for example, if somebody thinks, even if they think you have money, and I buy everything at thrift shop, and seriously, people make comments like, yeah, sure, and I do. I get everything at thrift shop, $1.50. What people think, you can't change, and sometimes their perception is so distorted, and I do believe kind of that's what's going on here. I just get the impression that the person involved in this, who did this, is very confused. I could be totally wrong, and I'm praying to God that we hear any minute now that that the mom, that Nancy, is returned. I'm praying any minute. Totally believe that somebody, oh, thank you, that somebody saw something. Somebody saw something. Now, the one thing that they keep talking about is all the neighbors up there said there was a white van parked on the street. Well, that must have been sticking out like a sore thumb, just like here in Vermont. If you know all the cars in your driveway and a new car comes in, like the other day, a blue pickup truck came here. Well, it was a worker for one of the apartments. I noticed it immediately. I'm like, who is that? Thank you so much, Tajian. Thank you. But if this is what I'm thinking, the person is confused and could seriously be just well up the street, just like there's been a number of cases. I can't think of the cases right now by name, but there were a number of cases where the perpetrator was literally up the street. I keep picturing, even though I have no basis for it, but I keep picturing that the perpetrator in Nancy's case is like somebody on the outskirts of town, like in kind of like a trailer type house, like a mobile type park house or something. And that's just my take on it. But that they're in there with her, keeping her safe, but they know a little bit about, maybe they were trying to get this money, but they're confused. And when you're not thinking, because you got to figure, someone to do that, to kidnap an 84-year-old woman, to kidnap anybody you are not thinking straight, okay? You're not connecting. You don't have any foresight. You don't have any reasoning ability. You're kind of in a zone that's what they call disconnected. You're detached. There's something else going on. So what happens in those cases, and I'm not a clinical psychologist, I do have a few psychology degrees. However, I am not a clinical psychologist. But I will say this, I've seen it in the different jobs that I had, and just academia and just life. What happens is there comes a point where they unravel. Okay, they can't think straight. They cannot think straight. And maybe they were thinking fine and straight when they did all this, thinking, you know, this is what they're going to do. And, you know, and they very well knew of this family because they're in the same town or nearby or something like that. And so what happens is they start to unravel. And the reasoning goes away, the cognitive abilities go away, and the emotions become unraveled, and they kind of revisit, kind of digress. So that would be a perfect opportunity for somebody will probably notice something. It will probably be very soon. Now, I could be totally wrong. This is just all in my kind of like what I'm putting together, piecing together, and, you know, with absolutely no basis other than what I've heard. And however, like I said, I think that the integrity and respect needs to be put forth to this family because they are in enough pain. So I do hope that now the media are the ones who can really make a difference here. They're out there with their cameras. They've been out in front of Nancy Gutherie's house like literally all day. Like I keep putting the TV off and then I go back and they're there. And I put it on specifically for Arizona's 5 o'clock deadline for the ransom to have been paid. I think something happened there, and you know, none of us know. So if that went through, and or if you know, it wasn't real. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm just thinking, who would ask? And this is why I'm thinking, who would ask for $6 million? Not somebody with $1 million, not somebody with money is what I'm trying to say. I think it would be someone who is not well. And you know, so many of these mental health programs have been cut. I know I was a part-time, what they call SRO manager, and people who were not well mentally and emotionally, guess what? They were advised by their doctors, seriously, I'm not kidding you, not to watch TV, not to watch anything that was sensational that would upset them. That is how sensitive some people are. But you notice this person's using the media, this person, I think, has some kind of delusion or something going on like that. And I am praying for her safe return. But I do think that there will be a trip up pretty soon. And I know the only one, I only heard this like once, but I didn't hear it again because maybe it's a super important part of the investigation. But I heard once something about the K Circle convenience store. And so I think it's a convenience store. It's a convenience store because we had one up in Derby. I think it was called K Circle. Like you get coffee, gas, and stuff like that. So if in fact there was some kind of a tip, or where that person was there, they may very well show up there again. And you got to remember too, this is a given, and we've all learned this even from the TV. I know it's not a TV show. I'm saying, though, it's a real thing that when people are not well, they may be egotistical, they may be grandiose, they may want to be in the spotlight, and you kind of get that idea with this sending stuff to TMZ. And just, I am really taken back at TMZ on how they're talking about this. I can't even watch that at this point. There's something not right there. There's something not, they need to kind of revisit their approach, I believe anyway, in reporting things. So, anyway, I mean, that's my take. This would be someone who doesn't have money, has a lot of issues, is getting mixed up, and will continue to unravel. And that will be an out for Nancy. That will be, I know she can't walk well, but it may be a way where she gets someone's attention, because this person will probably leave to go get, something to eat, and totally not keep track of the time. Like they'll start getting mixed up. That's my, that could be hopeful thinking too on my part. But I wanted to get on here because I'm just throwing scenarios out there as to why it's important to keep your eyes and ears open. And in any state, because they could be portraying that they're in that state and they actually drove across the country. I'm just saying, or down south or something like that. So keep your eyes open. And if the family is asking if you have noticed something, so you're going to notice an 84-year-old woman not in a good situation. Then you call the authorities. If you don't know who to call, just call your local authorities and they'll know what to do. So with that, I just wanted to jump on here and share with you the seriousness of the situation. Savannah said we're in the last hour of desperation. So the family is, this is just a unnerving time for this family to be going through this. But I say this, where there is goodness and there are people of goodness, and we are here to help each other, I really, honest to God, believe that somebody is going to notice something, and it's going to be soon, and Nancy will be home back reunited with her family. Let's just keep thinking like that. And I send you love and light. God bless, and keep the prayers going.